Alright guys, what's happening? KGCEpic here. Alright, so I'm bringing you guys the minimum gaming requirements for the games of like late 2017 going into 2018, right? As we know, there have been a lot of games that came out, late 2017, like this year, and there are gonna be more coming out, obviously. And it is always like a big deal, especially when we're transitioning from one year to another year in terms of gaming, right? The game that I am anticipating the most right now is Monster Hunter Worlds, honestly speaking, because I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan, and finally they're gonna come out with a Monster Hunter game that is either not just like based upon like either there's going to be an actual server. I know they did have Monster Hunter Online, but that thing was like exclusive to Korea, and it was like a pain in the ass to actually get it over here in the West and all that sort of stuff, right? So honestly, like I said, you would need a Kaby Lake processor, minimum requirements for gaming right now, and you would need an NVIDIA 950 at least. Personally speaking, if you do want to run those 2018 games, you're going to need an NVIDIA 950, and this is not for 4K, honestly speaking, because if you do want to run that 4K, I would recommend at least an NVIDIA 1050 if you do want to run 4K. Minimum for in terms of RAM, I would recommend at least 16 gigs of a DDR3 RAM, honestly speaking. So with Kaby Lake processor, at least an NVIDIA 950, at least 16 gigs DDR3 RAM, and this is just like I said, bare minimum from my perspective of things, personally speaking. If I would say like, if I would like recommend the best set of stuff, like I would, if I had to buy a computer, honestly speaking, because I am looking for a laptop. I'm looking at the Alienware R417. I'm looking at an NVIDIA 1080 Ti. I said if I have to go into a gaming laptop, I will go ham. And personally speaking, if you're going to buy a fucking computer for gaming, at least buy a gaming computer. It is a fucking gaming computer for a reason. Instead of like buying a computer that is not, specifically built for gaming. It is cheaper to build a computer. So if you're like, a real tech head, fine, go build your own computer. It is cheaper. It costs like half the money to build the computer, buy everything separate and all that sort of stuff. But I personally speaking, I find it easier to just buy a gaming computer, even though I am like a tech head as well. So yeah, like I said, if I'm looking at a new laptop and I'm looking at the Alienware R417 with an NVIDIA 1080 Ti, I'm going for that Skylake processor. Obviously, that's what it comes with. I'm going for either 16 gigs or 32 gigs of RAM. Now, some people actually say that you don't actually need 32 gigs of RAM, but you may never fucking know, right? And you have to keep in mind, if you're buying a gaming laptop, you're not buying a gaming laptop for 1 year. We don't know what 2019 games are going to be like. We don't know what 2020 games are going to be like. We don't know if at the end of the day, 16 gigs is actually going to be workable, right? Because 16 gigs right now is the bare minimum. So I wouldn't want to like be at the bare minimum, in terms of like all that sort of stuff. And of course, I'm going to be running my stuff in 4K. If it's not 4K, then shit. At this point, people, this is just how it is. But like I said, you don't have to run your games in 4K, especially if you can't afford a 4K laptop. Like I said, the cheapest 4K laptop might be someplace around 1,000 US. If you want a really cheap 4K laptop. The NVIDIA 1080 Ti, I mean, not the NVIDIA 1080 Ti. The Alienware R417. Last time I checked its price range, it was someplace around like 1,800 going into like 2,000 US, honestly speaking. But you can get a decent enough gaming one. I think Dell has a gaming laptop, a Dell Inspiron 15 gaming laptop or something like that. That is someplace that is pretty decent. I think Dell does have a decent 4K one that is that has an NVIDIA 1050. I think it has a 1050 or a 980, or a 980 Ti. I think that is in it. But anyways, it was like a decent 4K gaming laptop that was around 1,000 US. And yeah, there are other ones as well. You can check out Asus. Asus does have a pretty decent one as well. I forgot what the name of it was. HP Omen. Now the HP Omen, from what I saw in terms of like reviews for the HP Omen, personally speaking, obviously it is going to run your games, but it's not like the best 4K laptop, honestly speaking, in terms of like all that sort of stuff, and the specs and whatnot. But of course, as 4K gets older and older, there are going to be better computers coming out. So if you you can't really afford one right now, you can wait until next year. You can afford to wait until next year to buy your 4K laptop, honestly speaking, when 4K isn't that hot on the market anymore, and there's probably like something new that actually came out, or because there's so many competition in terms of 4K that the price range of like 4K laptops actually have descended. So anyways, that is just like I said, bare minimum in terms of like gaming stuff. So personally speaking, if I had to like go into gaming, like really go into gaming, I would like, I'm not sure, uh I don't know. Like me personally speaking, I'm a PC guy, right? And like while some people would say, okay, fine, you could buy like your wireless controllers for your PC. I like to keep it mouse and keyboard. I don't know if it's just me that likes to keep it mouse and keyboard, but I like to keep it mouse and keyboard. Honestly speaking, I like to keep it mouse and keyboard, and that's just me personally speaking. I mean, I have tried out the controller thing, and I'm really comfortable around a mouse and keyboard. I mean, that's just me personally speaking. But if you want to really go into gaming, then fine, yeah, you can do your wireless controllers and all that sort of stuff as well. You don't have to get gaming headsets and all that sort of stuff as well. Any headset, personally speaking, would actually work. The only difference between gaming headsets and the other headsets would be in terms of like how they distribute how the sound goes in like into your ears and all that sort of stuff, how clear certain things are in terms of gaming and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, fine, fair enough. So yeah, like I said, you don't have to get a gaming headset. You don't have to get the wireless game controller. You don't have to get this sort of stuff, right? Especially if you're gonna get a gaming laptop. The main priority would be the laptop. I wouldn't forsake getting a higher end gaming laptop to get accessories for the laptop, me personally speaking, and that is just advice from me to you. So if you do like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, be sure to subscribe. I got a link for my Facebook and Twitter in the description as per usual. Check out my other videos. I always got a whole bunch of gaming videos up. I do a whole bunch of topics and a whole bunch of different things, and as usual, stay epic.